So, hi everybody, welcome to this meeting. And we usually start with a group meditation, and we do it also today with a guided meditation. So we just sit comfortably first. Don't have any support for the head, otherwise just sitting comfortably. And we close our eyes. And then we notice how things are rising and falling here. This is how we live from morning to evening. The sound of a voice coming and passing away. Maybe some bodily sensations coming and passing away. Other experiences coming and going. And of course, thoughts coming and going. This is how we live. Things are just coming and going from morning to evening. And usually we are very fascinated by this. We want specific experiences. We want specific feelings. We want to think about the future. But in this meditation, we are not going to be involved in what is coming and going. We just leave everything alone. Just allowing the moment to be as it is. Which means that we don't push away anything. We don't have any ideas of how this meditation should be. Everything is welcome to be exactly as it is in this moment. But we are not interested in it. Not involving anything particular. Even thoughts are allowed to be here. We don't push away any thoughts. We are simply not interested in them. And then they will subside by themselves more and more. So, in this moment, we just allow this moment to be exactly as it is, without being interested in anything particular and doing absolutely nothing. Everything is just allowed to be exactly as it is in this moment. We are not interested in anything particular, not pushing anything away, just sitting here doing absolutely nothing. And if thoughts are grabbing attention, there's not any problem with this. This is part of the meditation. It may happen. But then we just remember the instruction. We are simply not interested in the thoughts. And even the thoughts may be quite interesting. We just say, okay, it is an interesting thought, I admit, but I will think about it afterwards. So in this moment, we just allow everything to be here as it is, including thoughts. Everything is allowed to be exactly as it is in this moment. We are simply not interested in what is coming. We just leave it alone. Sitting here and doing absolutely nothing. We're not trying anything. We're not searching for anything. We're not want to improve anything. We're not looking for anything. We're just sitting here doing nothing. And if emotions are rising, we treat them in the same way. We don't try to fix them. We don't run away from them. We don't ignore them. It's just to love to be here as everything else. Also, same with body sensations, memories coming, lights, or whatever. We're just not interested in anything of this, but not pushing anything away. No ideas how the meditation should be. Just allow this moment to be exactly as it actually is. Not interested in anything and just sitting here and doing absolutely nothing. we can take 1 or 2 minutes to come out of meditation. So, as most of you know by now, we are working in 2 parts here. And of course, the goal is to see that you are already enlightened, because this is the truth. Already in this moment, you are already living in a liberated state. But we don't see that. So that's why we're working in 2 parts to discover that. No exercises, no therapy, no books, no teaching. Just guiding to see what is already residing inside you. This moment. We are working with non-doing meditation. It's part 1. And of course, the goal, so to speak, is to find out, to discover what is already within, based on the principles that we can't do that. We just stop all search. We just stopped all trying to find this beautiful place which we have heard so much about. No purification is needed, no teaching, no therapy, just sitting down and stepping aside a little bit by just following these 3 simple instructions. And everybody can do that. Just sit comfortably, just allow the moment to be exactly as it is, not pushing away anything, not being interested in anything at all, and doing absolutely nothing. It means that the meditator, what we usually think is here, I am meditating, is not active. That belief in a meditator is not active. In truth, there is no meditator. Meditation becomes a happening, and the meditation just flows on by itself. Then it's a place of openness created by itself, a place of being available. And then that openness is created not by us, but by following the instructions, these 3 simple instructions. Then it is seen what is really true. And inside you there is a place of total freedom. It's already here, always shining behind everything. And that is, of course, can be described in many ways, and maybe some of you have some kind of glimpses of it today, some kind of feeling of ease, some kind of feeling of being home, maybe some kind of joy without any specific cause. Just quietness, a nice harmonious place, maybe even love coming. And this is the beginning to see the true state within you, which is always here. This is what we do by this non-doing meditation. But everybody doesn't like meditating. We are different. Of course, there are other ways to discover this beautiful place inside, this liberated state, and we come back to that soon. Just mentioned that the second part is to just ask ourselves the question, when I see this beautiful, harmonious, peaceful, blissful being, which I am in the meditation, why is it fading when we come out? So this is the second part. We have to see what is the obstacles for not seeing that place which is always here, permanently, actually eternally shining. And we notice, as we have been doing in these sessions before, and we will continue to do that in other sessions to come, to question our beliefs about ourselves, about enlightenment also, and about others and about life. Because these beliefs are so strong and they are so grabbing that we just overshadowing this beautiful state, which is, of course, always here, even during activity. So in the non-doing meditation, we discover this beautiful place of liberation inside us. And in the daily activity, we have to look at what is an obstacle for not seeing it there, in that case, in that place. This is what we do. And the non-doing meditation you can do on your own, or you can follow it on the YouTube guided meditation if that is good for you. In 10 languages, we have them there. And when it comes to question of beliefs, it's quite good to have guidance to look at what should we look at and how. What are there any tools? Yes, there are tools. This is what we usually do in the individual sessions. Of course, we are meditating also individual sessions, but we are mostly focusing on removing the obstacles, which is the beliefs that we have about life, which hinders us from seeing that in this very moment we are all liberated. The non-doing meditation is based on the principle of no practice. This is not an exercise. Exercises is to take something, do something here to come there. But this is not the principle we can apply when it comes to enlightenment, because we're already there. We're nothing to reach. There's no path. There's nothing to do. So we stop all the doing. And the starting signal for this meditation, if you feel drawn to it, the starting signal is therefore not coming from the thinking mind. Or it could be good to meditate for you. You meditate twice daily for 30 years and you will get it. We don't listen to the thinking because it doesn't know anything about the truth, doesn't know anything about freedom at all. No, we listen to something else. We don't listen, it actually screams, it's whispering to us all the time. Longing, it's a longing in our heart which makes us come to these meetings, made you sit down and say, and the whispering is, now it's time for you to sit down a little bit and meditate. And if you have time, possibility, you just sit down wherever you are, with open eyes or closed eyes for a short time, couple of minutes, or for a longer time if that is what you want, and just follow the instructions. But the initial start is coming from the longing for freedom. It is your longing for freedom that is starting the whole thing. And the longing for freedom should also be the initial start for meditation. If it's not there, if it's coming only from the head, not starting from the longing, waste of time, my experience. Do something more nice in life. So it's very important to understand that this is not a practice, it's not an exercise. It's based on this whispering which comes from within, this knocking from within, the longing to be free, the longing to be free from suffering, from struggling, from worries, from problems, from ego, or whatever it is expressing itself in your case. We have been quite much into questioning of these beliefs that we have about ourselves. I will not go so much into it now. But what is interesting to see that there are actually other ways for those who are not interested in meditation so much, other ways to come to this beautiful place within in other ways. And we can try it together now because it's very simple, very quick. And that is to say to ourselves in our own language, just take one deep breath, sitting here and asking ourselves the question, am I here? And of course, when we say, am I here? We're not asking for any answer from the head. It's not about thinking, of course I'm here. It's not that answer we are searching for. We're searching for something more existential, something more experiential, some kind of more of an experience or feeling or knowing. So what we do is very, very simple, and we can do it now together. You just take one deep breath, and then you ask yourself the question, am I here? And then you just let it sink in and wait. You do nothing else. So let's start now. Am I here? Maybe some of you noticed there was some kind of searching for that place. Is I am here, I'm present, I exist. A sense of being here, a sense of me being here. Or maybe you noticed that your attention went there spontaneously by itself. And if you are in this state now you don't do anything. Is there anyone who wants to make a comment on this? Is there was something that you saw and something you want to share with other people? Or having any questions around this? Many of you maybe recognize this little tool from Indian traditions. You just find a place inside which we call I am here. I'm present. I'm aware, you could say also. The place of is the feeling that I live. This feeling of living, existing. I'm not dead. I'm not sleeping. I'm not a stone. I'm here. And maybe you notice that this feeling of I am here, I'm present, I live, is coming in the morning when body wakes up. First the body wakes up, and then usually the I am here coming also. Yes, I'm here. And this place is a little bit strange, actually, because when we look at it, if you look at it now, it's a mere feeling of existing. But does it really do anything? Or is it just a feeling of existing? Feeling of being here, a sense of being here. And haven't you always been here? 10 years ago, wasn't it the same feeling of being here? Or 1 minute ago? Isn't it the same? Has it changed? Does it really change? Or were you not the same when you were a kid, actually? The feeling of living. I'm here. A feeling of maybe expressed as I'm aware, I'm observing. It's not really true, but it's okay to talk about it in that way. Has always been here. I didn't was somebody else 10 years ago. Of course, the body has changed, all these things that has happened and so on. Living in a total different way in the material world, so to speak. But the I, has it really changed? Hasn't I always been the same? So it seems to be that there is a place inside us which doesn't change, while everything else is changing. Things are moving, it's a movement from morning to evening. Experiences, feelings, thoughts, events, talking, walking, coming and going and coming and going. But this place inside what we actually also call I. We actually call it I. The closest we can come to ourselves. It doesn't seem to change. It doesn't move. It can be more or less clear when we're using this tool, but it's always accessible. It's always here. It's always available. And if we look at it a little bit more, is there any time in it? Is it really a time in this feeling of knowing as I am here, I exist? Maybe you can notice there is no time in it. See, we are living in two levels, so to speak. The story goes on, we're thinking some things are coming and going, and there's something else which is not coming and going, which we call I. I'm here, I'm present. And if you look closely, you may see that it doesn't change. It means that it's actually not influenced by what happens in the story. It seems to be totally cut from the story, actually. It doesn't have any opinions, does it? Does it have any opinions? Is there any thought there that life should be in a certain way? If you look, you can see that there is no thought there. It's mere the feeling of existing. I live, I'm here. Which is a little bit strange because we usually think that things are happening to me, But here we say that the me doesn't seem to be in the story. I don't seem to be in the story. I seem to be outside the story, so to speak, observing or looking at it. And if you can see this, that you are actually sitting somehow in the cinema sofa looking at the movie of this story of you, of the person, and it doesn't get so serious, does it? It's not so important anymore. In this place, you're always free. And if you look closely, you can see that it's totally untouched by what happens in the story. The story has changed. So many things has happened in your life, but you have always been the same. So you're not touched by the story even. Here you're totally free. A safe place. Maybe a feeling of being at home. At peace. And maybe some joy seen also. Some kind of joy which is not caused by anything particular. Just uncaused joy. Joy of living. Joy of existing. And maybe you can even see that there is actually love here. Unconditional love. And these qualities are always available every moment. And if you use this tool and you saw how the attention went to that place inside you, it maybe took half a minute, 1 minute, and you're home. And if you come to this place and you feel drawn to it, oh, this is a harmonious place. I would like to be here more. You can always do this. But here comes the tricky part. Because there's a lot of misunderstandings about this. Is I'm existing. It is easy to misinterpret it, to misunderstand the instructions of this tool. And the tradition is full with these misunderstandings. Or just be with the I am. It's not bad, it's not any wrong instruction that we just interpret it usually, many do, unfortunately, as it's a doing. This is important stuff. That it is a doing. I should do something to get to this place of I am. It's a big trap. And this instruction can be in terms of just put the attention on I am. But who's gonna put the attention on I am if there is no doer, as we have seen in previous sessions? So this is a mind. It's a thinking mind which is doing something, putting attention that what it thinks is the I am, but it is not. It's not going to the right place. It's creating a new I am feeling, which is just in the thinking mind. You're not in the right place. So every instruction can be misinterpreted in terms of a doing principle. That is why it's important to understand that it's not about doing something to get to this I am. The I am is already available, is already present, is already here now, has never left you, of course. It's always here. You are always here, aren't you? It's just that we don't look at it so much. We don't speak about it in school. We don't have any instrument to, so to speak, help us see it. So this tool we use now is an attempt to go away from these doing principles and just realize that it is not about reaching something. It's not about going from A to B. It's about discovering what is already the case. And the most simple way to do that is to just to start something and then get out of the way. That's why we're using this simple, am I here? What we do, we take a deep breath first because we want to avoid that it becomes a mind game. You want to avoid that it becomes some kind of mechanical thing from the thinking mind. We want to avoid it becoming some kind of affirmation or something. Self-hypnosis, or whatever you call it. That's why we take one deep breath first, to come a little bit closer to ourselves. And we just say this. Of course, we should mean what we say. Honestly, am I here? That's the end of your job. You're not doing anything. You just ask the question. And the truth, your life, or whatever you want to call it, is doing the rest. You just see that the attention goes there to this place by itself, spontaneously. And then you are in the right place. And what is beautiful with this place of I am, I exist, is that is actually at least a spark of the truth. A spark means that it is actually the truth itself, this liberated place which is showing itself in this place of I am. You could say that the reality, the only one reality there is showing itself as this feeling of I am, I exist in a human being. And by going to this place, you are standing in front of the gate. And the truth or life or the longing for freedom is doing the rest. No search. We just stop all search. Just creating this little inner environment in non-doing meditation by following these instructions, which is not in doing, happening. And then if you want to use this one instead, because you can always do it, it just takes 1 minute. You can do wherever you are, standing up, sitting down, on a metro, wherever. Open eyes, closed eyes, doesn't matter. And you will come to that place. And then the truth takes over and take you home. So the message here today is that we have to be aware that this, if you're using the tool to come to this I am place, which is a beautiful place to be, and is starting the liberation, to understand that it's a trap if we try to do it. If a thinking mind is allowed to do something. So instead of me repeating the trap, it's better for me to say the positive thing. Just sit down, take a deep breath, wait a couple of seconds, and ask the question, am I here? That's the end of your job. The rest is spontaneous, automatic, and the truth is doing the job. We just stop searching for the truth. And the truth shows itself. So, if you have any questions around all this now? Kartik, you have a commentary here. I just quote it. I can't get over this sense of something looking from what I think is inside my head. Yes. There is some kind of feeling of observing. I am here and the world, my personal life is over there. So it's some kind of cut. I'm here, I'm okay. I'm in this sense of harmony, feeling good. untouched by what happens in the story, and so to speak, observing what is going on here, if that is what you mean, Kartik. It can be felt that way as a temporary stage. In reality, it is not like that. Life is not dual. Life is non-dual, which means that reality is one. So what seems to be two, something here, observing what is there, is actually just a thought. It's just a belief. And you can see that even now. If you have access to this I exist, I am place now, and then you have the story, is it really someone looking? Or is it just two different things? The I am here, I sense of being here, and then the story with these unfoldments of some phenomena rising and falling, experiences, feelings, and thoughts. If we look closely, we can see that they are actually doesn't seem to be any connection at all. The I am is not changing. How can something which is not changing observe something which is changing? It's just to believe. It may feel like that, it may look like that, but it's actually not true. The truth is, to make the map complete, is that to use the metaphor of the ocean again, you are the ocean. That is what you are, and the ocean is showing itself as the waves, not in the waves, but the ocean showing itself as waves. So you are here, sense of being here, and this being, which shows itself as this depth of the ocean, you are, is showing itself as the story. So there is no observing really, but it's in a temporary step, it can be felt that way. But later on we will see that reality is actually one. By questioning the beliefs we talked about before, we will see that reality is one. Nirvana is inside and samsara is nirvana. There is no inside or outside. Reality is one. There is only the ocean showing itself as the waves. It's only the ocean with stillness, me, and then it shows itself as his personal story. So we're going away from the story a little bit, and then we're coming back to it and see, but this is also the same reality. From the deepest of the deepest to the grossest of the grossest. But it's okay to have this observing feeling or have the idea that there is something which is looking. I don't know if you want to comment on that, Kartik, more.
No, I just this is something I'm sure, like, this is not experiencing the world as non-dual, right? I mean, I still feel like there's a separate person looking out, even though I know there's awareness all the time, but I feel like there's a separate person looking out all the time, and I don't know how does one go from that place to recognizing it's all just one.
This is what we do in the individual sessions by using the tools we have in this toolbox. So of course now it is only theory. It's only a philosophy. And I just say, don't believe this guy. Don't believe what I say. It's about we discovering for ourselves, of course. This is not a philosophical seminar. It's not teaching in that sense. We're using the tools, mostly in individual sessions, as you know, to just go the whole way and to discover this oneness. Before that, it's a little bit more of a discussion, yes. It's just good to somehow get rid of the misunderstandings and be open that maybe it is not two. maybe it is not true, but it's still on the intellectual level. But it's on the intellectual level, it says that it's impossible. Life is two. This is dual. Me and the world. Me and the world. Me, the separate me and the world. As long as his belief is very stubbornly there, very rigid, it's not easy to see that life is one. But that is also something which is coming in the so to speak discoveries which we are using, which are going together. So you just take it piece by piece and discovering piece by piece. So even if it's not seen now, it's more of a beautiful theory. It will be seen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kartik. Okay. Question here about how can I help myself to cope with obsessive thoughts that arise themselves during periods of great stress. Naturally, they do not leave in meditation, although I am already tired of them and not interested in them. What is stress? Non-persistence. No acceptance of what is happening. Yeah, quite a big subject here. First, about thoughts. It's true that stress it's a very big subject, but stress is usually seen as something which is actually happening on the inside. It's not about how it really is. Even it can be you work in the stock market or some other places, which is very much many things to do. You don't even have time to take a coffee. Maybe many things to do. Busy. But that is actually usually not the problem. Even as the body can be tired. The problem is not how it is, but how we take it. And that is what by stress is coming in, that we are taking things in a certain way because we have ideas. We have ideas how it should be. So the stress theme is very much connected to our belief how it really is and how it should be. So you could say very shortly here, can go into details in your personal life by coming to an individual session. That is the best usually. But generally speaking, stress is about thinking that life should be in a certain way, and it is not. So it is some kind of questioning of the present situation, the questioning of ourselves. I should not be like this shouldn't be like this, they shouldn't be like this. It's very, very big impact on how we feel, how we experience life. Because we believe the beliefs, we believe the thought which is coming, that life should be different from what it is. But unfortunately, life doesn't listen to our thoughts. It doesn't say that, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to that you should have a stressful experience here. So, okay, guys, we take away the time a little bit. We back the time here a couple of minutes so that she can have a more not stressful experience. Unfortunately, it doesn't listen to us. It doesn't listen to us at all, it seems. Huh? We wanted life to go in that way. It should be in this way. But life is going that way. Doesn't care. And when this is colliding, these two are colliding, and then the stress is coming, life is not what I want it to be. This is a very important belief that we need to question. So it's very good that you bring it up here. You could say that it's 4 major beliefs that is hiding, that we don't see that we are already liberated. And one of these beliefs is the idea about myself, I'm not good enough, or whatever it is. Another belief is that I have to fix my life. I have to, I must, I need. The third one is that this moment here is definitely not complete. It is totally obvious. It's not complete. It's not true. And the fourth is what you just said here about stress, that we are questioning beliefs that life should be different from what it actually is. the present of the question of the present moment. And last one is to believe the awful future, where the thinking provides to us, that life in the future must be bad, mostly based on past experiences. The thinking mind doesn't have any other thing to go to. It doesn't know anything. The thinking mind doesn't know anything at all. It's just try to provide us with some kind of advice to take care of us, protect us, but they only know past experiences. And there's a tendency not to only remember the good things that happened. Unfortunately, you could say. This is just not how it functions. It remembers the bad thing that happened, disappointments and things which were mistakes and so on. So it has a tendency to say to the future that, of course, the future will not be good. And when we believe this, we feel miserable. So this is the 4 areas. So what we are talking about in the stress situation is that we believe that life should be different from what it actually is. How do we cope with it then? Yeah, so to become aware how the thinking is having a huge impact on our life. When we believe the thoughts arising in us, it makes our life miserable. I'm talking about negative, destructive thoughts, of course. When we believe they are true. And one way to make it more something happened. I hope it was okay. One way to make this awareness becoming higher, easier to see the problems, is to see that there are two parts of a thought. The thought in itself and the belief it is true. So the thought itself says, it shouldn't be like this. And the belief is that this is true. It shouldn't be like this. He shouldn't say like this. He shouldn't behave like this. That is true. We believe this. But the thing is that it is actually, the truth is that he did. He behaved like that. He said that, and it have an impact maybe emotionally inside us, the reaction. So to become aware of what the thoughts are doing to our life is extremely important. And to understand that the thought in itself coming into us, arising within us, is actually harmless in itself. Life is suffering. I am just struggle so much. Others believe that it is true. That makes it problematic. So when we believe the thoughts, the destructive negative thoughts about ourselves and others in life, then we call that suffering maybe. And one way to become aware, not only to see that the thoughts are 2 parts as we just saw now, but also the non-doing meditation makes us become more distant to the story. So it's easier to become in that way. So in that way, non-doing meditation is helping us also to become aware of the beliefs that we have, which are destructive and which is destroying our present moment, actually. Because when we believe the thoughts, the now is destroyed. Okay, I don't know if the one who had this thought about stress, if it's okay, or is there someone you want to follow up there? I just want to say one thing more about stress. That is that it's not only about questioning the moment, that it should be different, but it's also has to do with the view on ourselves as a person. This is quite deep subject, because we believe that I am responsible and I have to, I need, I must. And the truth is, it's not true. There is no person here. There is no person who is responsible. Things are just happening by itself. Things are just rising and falling by itself. And there is no person here responsible for anything. But this is quite deep things, and we have been looking at it in depth before in other sessions. So I will just leave it here and just saying that the stress subject is a very important one. It's actually connected to several beliefs that we have about ourselves. Me as a responsible doer, the controller, to make right decisions and all that kind of stuff. And the question of the present moment, that it should be different from what it is. It was just a kind of sketchy answer to this. So Kartik is answering a question here. Is a belief itself not a thought? Yes. The belief, you could say that yes and no. A thought is saying something. But that it doesn't mean that it is believed to be true. So it's always the option that the thought, if it's a statement, I'm not talking about other kinds of thoughts, of course. I'm only talking about statement. That this is how it is. It shouldn't be like this and so on. Protests and all that kind of stuff. I'm not good enough. I have to do this and so on. All these statements are thoughts, but they believe that they are true. It's not really a thought. It's still the thinking mind. It's inside the thinking mind, of course. It's a thinking, but it's not really. Okay, we can say that it's a thought. A thought says this thought is true, and if we want to be a little bit academic, we can say that it's also a thought, of course. But they are different in the way that the thought in itself is quietly harmless. It's only when they believe to be true that it becomes a problem.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I don't know if that was clarifying enough, but okay, thank you. Anything else? Someone want to say something? Question, protest, whatever? So what we are doing here is not so much to search for a beautiful state, really. What we're doing here, and these two parts, meditation and question beliefs, is to take away the obstacles that hinders you from seeing that in this present moment you are totally liberated. And these tools have been proved, even to my surprise, to be honest, have been proved to be extremely effective. And maybe it's because we are not doing it. When you're coming here, it is a longing for freedom which is the starting point. It's actually the driving force of everything here is a longing for freedom. And when a longing is allowed to do its work, we're stepping away. We don't believe the thinking. The thinking which says, oh, just relax, I will take care of it. You just do this and do this and do this and do this. This teacher, this therapies, maybe this exercises, maybe these books and so on. Then everything will be fine. When we believe this project manager in the head, then we are totally off the road. We can't go on forever. I know what I'm talking about. I did it for 30 years. Before you will realize that you don't know anything, do you? I'm talking to this guy. Do you know anything about the truth, really? No, but I want to help you. Yeah, but you haven't helped me because you are giving me the wrong advice all the time. So where should we go for the right advice, so to speak? Where the longing, which started the whole thing, was hijacked by the thinking mind, makes a project of it. We have to go back to the longing and just let it do its job. And then it is quick. So it's about question the thinking mind as some kind of wise guy up there who knows how to fix it. There's nothing to fix. We just let the longing do the work, and it will show us how it really is, because that is going on in everyone on earth all the time. The truth is knocking on the door from inside all the time and say, just let me show you how it is. But we are going somewhere else. We go into the thinking, and we have to do something to get somewhere. But there's nowhere to get. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to reach. You're already at home. Just have to open the eyes and see it. And this is what the longing and the truth is helping us with. It sounds mysterious, I know. It's more about relaxation. Relaxing and let the truth and longing do its job. By following these simple instructions in a non-dual meditation, in the I exist, if you feel drawn to that, and to question our beliefs together in the individual sessions usually. Anyone wants to have a final comment on this? Maybe we can conclude by just being in silence together for 2 minutes, and then we see each other next time. We have three meetings every week, as you know, online, on Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday, same time. Wednesday and Saturday in English, and on Sunday with the Russian translation as well. Okay, so let's sit in silence a couple of minutes then. Thank you very much, everybody.